But I'm thankful to be here with you. I'm thankful that you're here. I'm thankful that 24 is coming, and I hope that you are positioning yourself every breath you have, every beat in your chest, every step to be better than you were, because that's my call. If you look in the Bible, and yes, I'm a pastor, there's three things that I believe the church is supposed to be doing. First is edify people, and that's to grow them. You have to grow. You got to grow in life. If you're not living, if you're not growing, you're dying. The moment you stop growing, it's now a downhill slide to dying. Number two is exhort, and that's a super churchy word. I know exhort means to pull things out of you, to let you see the greatness in you. I believe that we were created in the image of God. Therefore, you have greatness in you. What are you doing with it? Usually the outside exterior, the triggers, if you will, the mistakes in life that held us back, prevent us from actually seeing what we're capable of. Maybe even the people surrounding us that constantly tell us we can't or we won't or will always be, may be the ones preventing us from walking in that. I want to be someone who can not only see something in you, but speak life into it. The third is to encourage you. Encourage is not to make you feel good where you are. Encourage has that word courage in it for a purpose. I want to put courage in you. I want to let you know that you can do it. I want to let you know you don't have to do it by yourself. Surround yourself with people who can help you walk into it and remove the people who hold you back. That's what this thing is all about. That's what in the red, because we all have in the red moments. Our ability is to not only walk in it and through it, but to go walk out of it. Not to say that there won't be another one, but to refuel, to find space and move forward. And today, I want to challenge us a little bit. I know in this Thanksgiving week, everything's supposed to be upbeat. I want you to spend time being thankful. I really want you to spend time in being thankful in all things, even the struggles in life, because I assure you, those struggles are positioning you when you come through them to have grown in some way, if you'll really allow it to. But I want to go with this title, and you saw it if you clicked on the episode and you're like, what does that even mean? The title of today's episode is Stop Selling You. Now, it can be taken in a plethora of directions, right? I think the first, I'll get the easy, the low hanging fruit is stop selling you. Like, stop selling who you are to buy what somebody else says about you. Like, that happens a lot. People know within us, and I'm not talking about, well, this is just who I am. First off, stop even tapping into that and becoming who you are based on what other people said or what you even tell yourself sometimes. I'm talking about the real you that you were created to be, not what you've become, not what life has dictated, not what people have told you is okay. Like, genuinely, your dreams, your passions, your visions inside you that maybe you don't even realize because you've settled in some areas. So maybe you've even sold pieces of you for what you says about you. Like, you've limited yourself. But be careful about the people around you who say that's not who you are. You are this. Or when you say I'm this, and be like, oh yeah, that's exactly who you are. Like, be very careful about that. Just I just want you to understand that. Don't get so locked into this is me or not me that you fail to see who you really are. Hurt can put us in a place time after time that limits our ability to see ourselves for who we really are. And we live in a world that will validate hurt. Man, we pity parties galore, all of that. But really, what I want to talk to those is my business minded people out there, my entrepreneurs. Uh, there's a statement that has been given to the business world that I hear quite often, and it is this: always be selling. So it's for the business people to say, you know what, everything you do, every breath you have, you got to always be selling if you're going to be successful. You can't take a break. You can't ever get to a place where if there's an open door for you to sell you to somebody, for you to sell your product to somebody, you better kick that door wide open and just run through it. Like, always be selling, because if you don't, you won't be successful to the level you're supposed to be. The moment you stop selling, somebody's going to outsell you. That's really the fear and concern, is that somebody's working harder than you. Somebody's doing it more than you. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to sell you when others are selling you. Think about this for a minute. Most of those people who are saying never stop selling are saying in order for you to be successful, you have to constantly remind people who you are and how you're doing it. Whether it's a service. If you're doing a service, you got to get out there and you got to talk somebody into what you're doing. If it's a product, you got to talk somebody into why they need your product. But I'm here to tell you that if you're really doing it the right way, if you've made a product that is doing what it's supposed to do and it's doing it with excellence, it's made perfectly. It's not corners are not cut. Money was not cut, so you could just get a bargains size product that does kind of what you say it does. But if you got to sell it, most times it's probably not actually doing what you're saying it is. Those people who oversell, generally you get that product and it may do it for a minute, but it will eventually wear off. Or you get it, it's like you almost have to be talked into what it is to a place of believing it, and then somebody's like, I don't see the results. Oh, yes, it does. And then you actually take a emotional step back and like, oh, maybe it's not. Or somebody is constantly selling their service. But here's what I find more times than not. I've personally witnessed people who weren't constantly selling who are successful. How does that happen? Because their product, their service, who they are is demonstrated in excellence. Everything that they do, if you spend any amount of time around them, there is such a genuine presence about them. Everything they do is to first serve the people they're called to. From the perspective of the church that I just spoke about, edify, encourage, and exhort. Their product is to edify. They want uh, consumers who are wise in the area that they're serving them in. They're not giving them a product that they don't understand. They want to educate them on the product they have and why it could be useful. I have a friend of mine who just started a solar business. And the amazing thing about him was he said, so many people are going in and trying to sell you on solar. He said, the moment I walked in, I'm not trying to sell you. I am trying to let you know what this is and it's available to you. He said, I don't walk out looking to finalize the sale. I want to walk out with you having more information. I've I've found this even in church as a pastor. That's been my heart is I don't want to be selling you and selling our church and selling there's a lot of like constantly like if you need to come to our church. No, I think you just need to find a church and you need to find the right church, which is one that edifies you, encourages you, and exhorts you. It's not one that has 3 songs and a sermon and makes you feel good for an hour, but gets you out in time for kickoff. Like that's the broken model of what church has become. We come in, we get what we get, we don't throw a fit, and then we move on. But there's no real growth. It just makes us feel good. It taps into our emotions. We get to walk into a nice, big, pretty church, but really we have no connection to anybody. There's no community built. Why? Because they're constantly selling themselves. If you really got down to brass, I can say, what does this church do? Could you sell that church to somebody? Or are you only selling what's been sold to you?